Happy summer, everybody! It's finally here, and at the same time, it doesn't last very long, so enjoy it as best you can. I'm going to be updating you on the things we got into this last couple of weeks, and also a few more things in between. Starting over here, this is where I scattered some Love Lies Bleeding Amaranth, and we have very nice germination on these, very thick germination, which either nature will take its course and thin itself out, or I will have to do that myself later on. Now, the sunflowers are coming through as expected, um, mostly sad, some unalive. I did throw in some extra seeds because I knew this was going to happen, so we do have some germination some places. And so it's a matter of wills whether the plants make it or the rabbits. I can't just pass by not mentioning these because these are the first flowers of the hollyhock. Now, this is like, it's not what I bought, it's what happened to some of the seeds of this original beauty. So we are reliable on that dark red, purple, but I appreciate the pop of pink every time. What else is new here? Oh yeah, we lost all the flowers. I think this is a flower, but we'll find out sooner or later. It's the only one here. We'll find out eventually. The flowers I plunked in over here are mostly gone. I did put scabiosa seeds in the ground. I don't know if they're coming up or if it's just weeds coming up at this point. So that's a to be continued. The lamb's ear looks really good. Now we've had nothing but rain, which you probably heard everybody saying, at least the northern part of the country. So strawberries have been semi-abundant, but what we haven't lost to squirrels, we've lost to rot. And then the quality of the fruit hasn't been great because of all the water. Also, I have a couple, only 3 really, of the sweet peas left. And these leftover ones look pretty good. But I'm not holding much hope because that one's gone. That one's gone. That one's gone. My columbine is gone, and that was doing so well. And the last sweet pea is doing pathetically over here. Our sun gold is not doing too shabby over here. The aspirin spray I didn't hurt it at all, so that's good. The calendula is also up. Thinning definitely helps to get some stem length. Normally, if you were selling these for, as cut flowers, you would definitely thin these out because you need the stem length. But since I'm not doing that, that's not a problem. So these are very close together and very stout. Whereas, let's say this one that's growing relatively by itself in the cracks of the concrete here is much, much taller. So we should have an abundance of blooms here very soon. And if you caught my last, was it the last one? Short, the bee balm here was harvested. Different kind of bee balm right there. See how it's more pointy and like serrated leaves. And this one is more scalloped. And this is the hyssop, looking good. And the chia is surviving. Not the best specimen. They've definitely stayed inside way too long. All right, let's not linger. The cosmos that I transplanted, everybody looks pretty good there. I did a little bit of weeding to expose the red vein sorrel. We got a volunteer there. The dusty millers are great. They really gained some growth, and the zinnias are still alive. Now this space is interesting because you saw me plant up the beets, and they are up. I also planted a few onions, and you can see 2-ish of them, and I had another 2. And the other 2 completely vanished, eaten to the ground. Well, they left a couple of sprigs right there. Can you see it on the leaf of the pumpkin? But why? I thought they didn't like onions. And you can see the artichoke there trying to survive. So I replaced the onions with some more celery I have. Oh, and there too. And there was also a marigold there. There's one they didn't leave that they left alone, but there was a marigold there that they chewed to the nub. So here's the twig of a marigold I had put in, but that got eaten. Oddly, the other one did not. So we are going to plug in a celery celeriac overgrown in the container plant. Oops, get out of the way, worm. And we'll see if this keeps that alive for a while. But at least we have good germination on the beets. Yay. Are you seeing this? Abundance of berries, raspberries, bumper crop. Now, if it just dries out long enough, that they'll sweeten up before they're all taken by the birds or something because they are super tart. This is an area I didn't show you that I planted out my leftover dills, which were pretty much dying. And then something decided, or the dill itself decided that it didn't want to live anyway, so they're all gone. I do have some leftover onions though, so it'll just be a matter of time before those are gone too. This bed's doing a-okay. Nothing's bothered it yet. I still haven't thinned out the Moroccan squash. And this bed is doing very well as well. We've got vining on the moonflower. We've got nice growth on the sweet potatoes. The zucchinis are holding on. I haven't gotten to that. I had to reseed the Armenian cucumber again. Third time's a charm, hopefully. That's up. The loofah is looking sad. Maybe I'll stick a seed in there and see what happens. Now in this container, I plunked in some, what was it? Lemongrass? But I don't know if those little twigs there are lemongrass or just grass. So we're still waiting on this one. And then here I plunked in cinnamon basil are doing very well. Took them a while. They eventually did come up with the grass. I almost had a mini heart attack. I was like, no, it's gone. But no, the wind just took it over. My Cleo, one of my Cleomes, starting to flower. It's a perennial, so yay, it's alive. Let's check out the other one. Oh, this is something I worked on last week. The asparagus tends to flop into, the main grass area that gets mowed, so it ends up getting mowed. And also, rabbits have been chewing it up, and I've lost a couple sprigs, particularly in this particular section. They seem to hang out here, and the dog has been useless. Anyway, back to the Cleome. Here is another one. And there's a couple more down there. So cool. My milkweed is alive. It's growing very slowly. So I'm gonna have to keep watching that. Now I did a few things here that I was too stupid to keep audio for. So I have to retell the story. But this bed had peanuts, and they're taking their sweet time to come up, which is part of the course. But also, there's a lot of little holes in it, so I'm not sure if they just got dug up. So while that's the case, I decided to plunk in some kohlrabi, white and purple, to either take up the bed if the peanuts never come up, or I can easily take them up and place them somewhere else if the peanuts do come up. I'll go over there. In this bed of Asian greens that I'm letting go to seed, I plunked in the mung beans, and I only lost like 2 that I know of, so I did put seeds in for that. And then in this bed, which has an established going to seed celery, I plunked in new celery and also soybeans in there. And I don't know if it works or not, but it seems like they always know when I'm turning up the soil. So I made the peppermint spray, and this one in particular happens to be Castile soap, peppermint scented, or has peppermint oil. So I just use that. Normally I have like regular soap, not dish detergent, regular soap, and then peppermint oil separately. But since I found the my bottle, I just used that. This one also had some other lima beans, I think I put in here, but I also don't see those coming up, so that needs to be reseeded as well. Everybody else, I'm letting those go to seed and hopefully reseed the bed that they're in. The Geranium Kiss and Tiny Tim are beautiful. They bounce back. They look strong and healthy. I'm just going to turn around and say I did a bit of weeding. It's really hard because it's a smushed in space with a lot of plants that I'm probably stepping on. And it's mostly these mints. And they have beautiful variegation on them. But these were here on the edge of the woods, and now they're encroaching into the family area. So I don't know if they were planted here on purpose or not, probably at some point. So yeah, there was a lot of weeding on the sides, and I need to do some work on the border here to keep them out more permanently. But there is a beautiful batch of kale that is ready to eat whenever I get to them. Then there's like baby asparagus in here places that hopefully I haven't lost completely. And as usual, the artichokes are growing, one better than the other. The rutabaga have bounced back finally. They were looking sad there for a bit, but they're doing nice. This is doing well. That, which I decided to keep there, is actually Sweet Annie. Smells delicious. So I'm glad I kept that in, and that will, just stay there. It'll be fine. I didn't do much. I weed every day pretty much. I also took the flowers off of there because they're not ready yet. Still too early for that to set fruit. And then I did take the remaining, where was it? Might have been these. There were a couple escapes that I haven't picked yet from this batch, so I did take those up. I'm very happy with how well the tomatoes have survived, although there have been some kind of something clawing at these. But they're also time to string these up. They're starting to fall over with the weight, so I have to get new string and get them up there. But I'm also very happy that these are doing fairly well. They bounced back from the transplant shock, and yeah, they're good. Although something got to this honey drop, I don't know what, but I'd say could have been a hornworm, but that's not the case because it's too early for that. But something was a nibbling on that one. Now I know the dog was in here at least maybe twice because this fencing was all combobulated. So I moved this other fencing. Some of my corn was knocked down. I did not get two spaces to germinate, so I did plunk in new seeds. So I'm waiting on those. And then the rest of the corn's doing fine. And the eggplant, I've had to spray some, what is it, diatomaceous earth because the flea beetles or some kind of beetle has gotten to them. They make holes in the leaves. They should bounce back, especially if they're already bigger. So that is a wait and see. Now the thing is that apparently these beetles are in the ground, so it doesn't matter if you cover them up because they're already in the ground. So you're just trapping them there. But what is doing well is the okra seeded. Those are all up and looking healthy. Like something came in and dug up this marigold, and so it's looking sad and dead, but hopefully it will recover. This one is being attacked by something else. And then something was over here trampling, the dog probably, and knocked down my garlic, but I don't mind at this point. It's going to be fine. Yeah, some of these garlic still have very immature scapes on them, so I'm going to wait another few days before harvesting the like half dozen that's left over. So this is another pot that I had put peanuts in. So if that doesn't come up, I will have something else in there. Everything else is looking good. The ground cherries really popped. That one, not so much, but those other two really took off. Oh, I seeded this container with some lovage, but I don't know. I don't see any activity, but it could still be too early. So we'll wait and see on that. These melons are looking healthy. That looks like an intruder. I don't know what that is. A flower of some kind that I did not put there. The warmth of the weather should give us more growth than we have been seeing. So those pumpkins are looking good. These watermelons are also okay. Now I do want to weed the spots, but the stupid flies. Oh, can you see them? There they are. I don't want to release them, so I don't want to open the space. When do they die? I really gotta harvest these lettuce, especially now that it's getting warm. Same with over here. What I did get done was seed some extra arugula and mizuna. That should be the mizuna. This should be the arugula. I don't remember. Oh, this is the summer savory coming in strong, so that's exciting. The winter savory is still there. But what I'm not seeing is the tarragon that I seeded, so I might have to reseed that. Now we have a minor setback with the rice. This was supposed to be a no drain pot. Unfortunately, it cracked at the bottom, which I didn't realize till recently. So this will be a regular water very constantly situation for these two containers. But not to worry because we still have this swamp. So I don't see any new seeds coming in, but the old seedlings are still well and good. Now it looks like this is going to be my golden sun gold, my golden child, doing very well, very healthy. The chives finally perked up. I think these alyssums are still here. All the alyssums are doing great. And the carrots here are also doing well. Also, these greens, brassicas mostly, are fantastic. The caterpillars finally eradicated. The netting is working, obviously. No more new caterpillars, although some other bugs are making holes in the plants. So most of the cabbages and kales and Swiss chards are doing fine. And to round out the updates, I got to start picking the chamomile. Look how beautiful the thyme flowers are. It's just so sweet and dainty. We've got good growth on whatever greens are in here, but I do need to get on the weeding. Looky Loo, another. I'm on the wrong side. The hollyhocks are coming up on this, and this is my tallest. This is 8 feet tall for sure. It really likes the soil in this area. I've had to cordon down the yarrow because the wind coming from the south tends to push them into the rest of the beds, which I harvested my cilantro. Yes, I harvested the cilantro. I still have to get that out to you. Most of this is parsley, so you know. Everything else here is the same. The feverfew looks wonderful. Just wonderful. Oh my goodness, so beautiful. And then more chamomile, which need to be harvested. I do want to work on this middle area. It's really like a walking path. Since I have this netting all around, I can't really get into the space unless I leave the middle empty. So I got to work on something there, make it more appealing to myself. And the last thing I did here was weed out the basil bed. And the basils are doing fantastic. Here's the last update. That sun gold looks really sad, but eventually it'll catch up, I hope. Well, this columbine is coming to flower. Yay. Add to the list of things to accomplish this week is trimming back the 9-bark. 9-bark makes a great hedge. It grows really fast and thick, but that is not what we need it for. So it is going to be trimmed back to closer to where it's like 4 feet off the driveway here, and like all this has definitely come out. And it's a little bit better over here too with the sunflowers, and we want to keep it that way. So we're gonna have to shear some of that off. You wouldn't believe how many mosquito bites I got just from that little walkabout. But hope you enjoyed. Keep watching for more updates as the summer ramps up. We've got a lot going on. And please subscribe, share, like, ask any questions in the comments, or leave any comments you'd like. I'll try to get to any questions you may have. And as always, talk to you all again soon. So I'll harvest more. Bye.